as I was saying, there's obviously Six Nations stuff we're going to get into in due course, but with the fact being that there was actually Test rugby at the weekend that many other people might have ignored or completely missed, we're going to delve into the Rugby Europe Championship first and just kind of sum up what happened there, because we did watch a couple of the games as
Absolutely,
well.
absolutely, yeah.
So,
just the one game I watched. I was watching the Georgia-Spain game, which was the game of the weekend. Very interesting affair. I don't think it was played in Tbilisi. Certainly wasn't played in their usual stadium. It was smaller venue, not a great crowd, and played in just the most monstrous gale. I mean, we think it's bad, it gets bad in the sports grounds or in Galway, and it gets bad maybe in Wellington, but
Sandy Park had
honestly, like you wouldn't even compare.
Yeah,
it was stunning. I mean, one of the clips actually from the game went viral, which was
clearance, scrum half's clearance that went like 90 yards.
Went 90 yards and bounced into touch. You saw it, but it like that doesn't tell the story of the game at all, because for the entire second half, Spain were having kicks go dead. They had kicks from their own end zone or their own in-goal area going all the way dead, and scrum 5 Georgia as a result,
which is not where they want to be at
all.
Not
where they want to be at all. But it was a crazy game in that regard. It did give us a chance to get to see some good Georgia ball and hand play in the second half. But yeah, overall, a more curious picture. I mean, it gave a more curious sort of one-off game kind of picture to it. But Georgia certainly dealt with it a lot better.
Yeah,
they had the game going at their own pace. They're a team that likes to play with ball in hand anyway, so they didn't overkick it. Excuse me, in that first half.
Yes,
and I thought it was as impressive perhaps as it could have been. Well, maybe with one or two exceptions. I mean, the pack played very well. There was a nice little Milton Hague variation. One of the things that was really good about the second half is, for playing into the wind, they basically played the entire game inside the Spanish 22.
Yeah, it's impressive feat.
Yeah, and it was good Milton Haguing, and with a little bit of industry off the restart, is that they had they went very wide very quickly, and they had their very quick, very strong, bullish number 7, whose name I really like. It's Georgie. I don't even want to embarrass myself by trying. It's Suitskaridze. Suitskaridze.
Yeah,
I mean,
he looked very impressive though.
But he was very good. He did butcher one try horrendously after
corner,
mauling through 2 players and then just leaving the ball behind him.
Yeah,
but
very strange.
It was a strange one, but he played very well, and it was just super effective. They got outside, they got one of their big runners running at a wee Spanish winger, and virtually every time they scored, they were right back down instantly, and then it was nice and slow, and again.
Yeah, there were a fair few deflated-looking Spaniards by the end, although they did grab a try at least.
They grabbed a try at the end.
Was good, because they needed that for morale's sake. Yeah. They were taking an absolute bludgeoning.
The scoreline was 24-10, but that absolutely did flatter Spain, and that's in character for Georgia. That's what they do. They don't put 60 points on you. They
beat you by 24 to not many, and with a lot of a physical toll throughout, because you just feel like you're spending the whole day tackling or scrummaging or wrestling with mad grappling Georgian monsters essentially, and they were significantly bigger man for man than that Spanish team, looking at it as well, and it just like when that tempo got set, it never looked like Spain were likely to do anything else other than kind of meekly surrender to it.
Indeed.
And that kind of ended up being the case.
Certainly the kicking wasn't helping them.
No, they couldn't get a handle on it, which is like is a strength enough in their game. Like, they're not averse to kicking it normally.
It was just the wind
those
behind
conditions.
them.
Yeah, like they can connect.
You were exiting from your own goal line, you're thinking, alright, I gotta really get a hold of this one, and they did, and then it just went all the way.
Yeah. And that's
slowing down.
Mental, to be
I mean,
honest,
there was one Tito, the 10, who's a very nice young player, been signed for Brive next year, as we were saying last week. Had one conversion that was struck perfectly, and it was like the behind the man shot of it was actually gas. Looking at it, was striking perfectly and going straight over the bar, and about halfway through it just whipped backwards and started just bouncing up the pitch. It was just not, the wind was just not having it. It was crazy conditions, but
still Georgia go kind of professionally marching on despite that once off feeling to that game. They're still,
it was always going to be a game, I think, that was going to suit them more. The sort of mini story growing is the proficiency of Russia at the moment, the improved nature of their game.
That doesn't surprise me in a World Cup year.
It doesn't surprise me either. It's I mean, it paints a fascinating picture ahead of the year. They're likely not going to do anything in the World Cup, but they'll certainly
they
give
may
it a
injure
go.
a few boys.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised at that,
64-7 victory over Belgium at home.
Yeah.
Belgium are no great shakes, but they're more competitive than that usually. Yeah. And it's just an interesting warning sign.
Definitely, warning shot fired by the other team in the World Cup, so it's worthy of keeping that eye on them. And big and strong is what I expect from them, which is why it wouldn't surprise me to see them injure one or two Irish people in the World Cup, but I'd actually be more fearful for the Scots.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Scots against Russia could be a calamitous attritional
or the Japanese.
Game. Yeah, that'd be an interesting game though. That's one that the Japanese won't be as likely to be taken for granted as maybe the Scots would.
Is that the opening game?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to be all guns blazing, both teams going into that, so that'll be a feisty affair. But Scotland, for some reason, I fear for them. I fear for them in that game, in the context of key men going down.
Yeah.
And the rest of the tournament, but yeah.
I think I'm very much looking forward to seeing. I think more than we're going to learn about Georgia, because Georgia are going to get all their players from all across Europe into a big squad and figure out what they're going to do for the World Cup. So they're going to come in rather like Fiji, perhaps a new team, reinvigorated and doing something similar but probably a little bit different. Come World Cup time. But for Russia, I think they are kind of probably going to show their hand a little bit, and I'm very interested to see the games against Romania and Georgia. And I think those two
are kind of more litmus test than Belgium at home.
100%, 100%. Yeah,
for sure. It's hard to get a gauge on anything other than to score 64 points shows some level of competence anyway in a side.
Absolutely.
You can be dominant and not manage to execute that often. So
Meanwhile, Romania mustering up 38 against Germany is as perverse as it seems, is quite below par. Probably.
Yeah, I think of that as roughly stock. To be honest, that's not a surprising result to me at all.
Yeah,
slightly clunky. Romania still very much superior to Germany, who are just a few rungs below.
Yes,
not even at the tier 2 kind of levels at all.
Yeah.
So that was just by the books. The fact that they were both home games as well, or they were all home wins, very comfortable ones as well. But they were also, had they been those are more interesting games if the home advantage is reversed every single one of them. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of all went according to plan and to the bookies' estimates pretty much in essence. And the only kind of curiosity was really that Georgia game, with conditions being such that it made for a few mad looking plays and a rather strange colour to a game.
It did indeed. And just the slightest signs of positivity from Georgia in terms of their movement of the ball.
Yes, they're looking to get a little wider, and their shape is involving a few more big men in wide channels as well, which is new.
Yeah, the bald fullback whose name escapes me at this time is
he's their worst player.
He's very poor. Yeah. He's not at the level. And he's causing them a bit of strife. He's dropping balls. He's getting things wrong.
When things are breaking down, it tends to be in and around his areas. And that's a lack of proficiency in that area could really stifle them if a game breaks up like it could against Fiji.
Well, that's the thing. Right now, it's plan A and plan A only, which is to slow teams down, and they do need to figure out how to do that without the ball and just get a little better with their kicking game. I mean, Lobsanidze and Tito, the out half.
I'd be backing them.
I'd be back. They're certainly the guys to back.
Yeah.
And they know who they are, and those just get better and better.
Yeah.
But they need a better kicking game, and they need to be able to slow the game down on defense.
Yeah.
But they still don't have a plan B, and they're not going to develop that in 6 months either in terms of their back line. They're not actually there.
No. Save a talisman at fullback,
Well, they had that, your man. Who was quite a good player, but he doesn't seem to be around this year.
No.
I don't actually.
Yeah, I can't decide his name right now. But what was exciting about him was just purely that access that he gave them to the wide channels. And it's like, not that they had anything truly spectacular in the wings, but it was just curious to see them being capable of moving it enough to get it into their hands.
Certainly for this level, the idea of getting one of their, and perhaps even at a higher level, the idea of getting one of their bull rushing back rowers, especially a lad as quick as that lad at number 7 at the weekend, that's a good variation, and that's something that they should stick with, because the Spanish winger was deer in headlights. He couldn't tackle him, and the guy was quick as well. So once he bull rushed over the winger, there was just space galore. Virtually every time.
Yeah, so it's something that should be explored.
More difficult to do against the likes of George North, but
true.
Still,
not impossible. He's been found. He can be isolated on defense if you're being quick and competent with how you're using the ball.
It's a good mix. Milton Haig and Graham Roundtree in any coach's box is a good mix. So there's a lot healthy in Georgia, and I'm excited.
The attendance was good as well. The crowd looked pretty good.
It was In Georgia, it was okay. It wasn't like they've had bigger for sure.
It's a game against Spain.
Yeah,
it's not Romania.
I guess
in Romania that's where the atmosphere is and when it's in Tbilisi. But I pretty enjoyed the game, watching it on the second screen, Buzz, and it was a simple enough win. I was only fascinated by those mad Spanish kicks and then rather sad looking Spaniards when that couldn't go to plan and they had the wind and couldn't utilise it, and there was really no hope for them from a long way.
Georgia have
the whole second half felt like a vice.
Georgia have the Indian sign over virtually every team
in that tournament. It's been too long and they've been too dominant. It's just no team seems to go in against.
It's just that similar feel of disbelief that Khabib and Nurmagomedov hold they get on their opposition and just keep them there and keep them there and keep them there. And all their plans are just going up in the air. As we always say, they paint a very fun picture.
It is. It's an interesting. I just love how they fly in the face of what is gospel over this world of quick rope ball, because they deliberately avoid that and slow it down, and they like duping the ref when he says use it to allow them to get 6 seconds instead of 5 and not get pinged, and it's all just very, very meticulous and slow, and just a very strange way to play the game, but built on a tradition that is years old. And
the thing is, before we move on, which we should, but the thing is about them, that's because you think instantly, it's alright doing that at tier 2 level, but you get up and you get physically beaten, then there's nothing to it, and that may end up being the picture. But right now, I'm actually yet to see Georgia, even against Italy or in any of those games that they've played tier 1 opposition. I've never seen them wanting physically.
No. It's usually that they get things like the Argentina games from a few years ago, where they just got around them, got quicker. Fiji have done it to them a few times. Japan have done it to them. When the ball when you shift the point of contact and you don't let the ball die, all of those strengths go out.
But when Georgia hold the ball, and do
against
keep it
any
slow,
team, sure, we saw it in the Millennium Stadium against Wales. Albeit they made a raft of changes for that game too, but it was still Wales in the Millennium Stadium
for that specific tactic. The group Australia, Wales and Fiji is actually a rather forgiving one.
They're not going to be as punished
with the exception of maybe Wales.
I think Wales could, knowing what to expect, I think Wales could just not be drawn into, because that Wales team were too focused on being a power team anyway when they bring in their after changes, that it was just like they weren't playing a Georgia team the wise way at all and playing them into the game. Whereas like we were crediting Wales with being very versatile, they can choose a multitude of styles that they want to go for, and against Georgia they should be recognising, probably in World Cup time they will be recognising that there's no need to go through these boys. There's no need to try, but need to go around them.
The main point is without the ball. I think all of them like their matchups with the ball. And it'll depend on what Georgia's hustle will be without the ball. But with the ball, when Georgia have the ball, those teams are actually not well positioned to stop them doing what they do.
No, not particularly.
So it'll be curious, but that's all to come.
It is, In the meantime, 2 weeks of the Rugby Europe Championship have happened, and Georgia are sitting pretty where they normally are.
There's a bye week now next week, and then we'll move on, and we'll preview those games then again next week that are coming up. But for now, it looks like continued Georgian domination, which is the way it has been and
continues to be.
Thoroughly.
Thanks for watching the Overlap Rugby podcast. If you enjoyed that video, please like down below and subscribe for more videos, and please enter the comments section to join our conversation. Thanks.